Hi, everyone. My name is Lisa Paz, and I'm the Senior Director of Engagement and Advocacy for AISES. This video is to provide you with some travel tips, especially if you're on your way to the AISES National Conference. We hope to give you some insight into traveling, especially if you're traveling for the first time and a little nervous. This may not cover all situations, but should cover common travel situations. Now, let's take a minute to also remember that we are in a challenging time and we need to think about our health safety. Please check CDC guidelines before you travel to see the newest recommendations about staying safe while traveling. Some places, including some airlines, could require proof of either a negative COVID test or proof of vaccination. Check their policies to see. And if you are vaccinated, you may want to consider carrying your vaccination record or at least have a picture of it on your phone. There could still be requirements of wearing a mask while in the airport, while on the plane, and while on public transportation, but please check current CDC guidelines at cdc.gov. We recommend bringing several masks with you for the duration of your trip. There will also be hand washing and sanitizing stations around. We recommend using those as well. And keep in mind that not everyone follows guidelines, but we hope that our attendees will so that you can all feel safe and comfortable. Okay, let's start with booking a flight. Make sure that the name you enter matches the ID you'll be using for your travel so that your ticket and your ID match. Also, double check that you are booking for the correct dates and times. Changing your flight may result in additional fees, so make sure that you're booking the flight that you want. Now, we know some people will be traveling by car. If you are, please make sure that you're following all local laws and policies. And please, please do not drive while distracted. We know it can be tempting, but please drive safely. Keep in mind that once you get to your destination, especially if it is a hotel, you may have to pay for parking, and some hotels charge quite a bit, so don't forget to budget for that. Okay, back to those that are flying for a few minutes. Let's talk about checking in for your flight. In many cases, you can and will want to check in about 24 hours ahead of your flight. Remember this for your flight home, too. This tells the airlines that you do still plan to be on the flight, so hopefully you don't get bumped. After checking in online, you can opt to print your boarding pass or have it available on your phone. You can also get it printed when you get to the airport. You can choose whichever option you're most comfortable with. Once you're at the airport, you may also need to check luggage. So go to your airline check-in area for that, and keep in mind that there may be a baggage fee, depending on your airline. Fees usually start at about $25 a bag and could go up from there. Also, do not forget your ID. You will not be allowed to fly without your ID. Okay, now that you're checked in for your flight, you'll need to go through security. Make sure to get to the airport in plenty of time. Security lines can get long and be time-consuming. Also, read all of the signs in the area. Each airport seems to do things differently, and you want to be prepared when it's your turn. For example, some places make you take out any electronics bigger than a cell phone and put it in a separate bin, but some places don't. So just be ready. Another thing to be ready to take out and put in a separate bin could be large jewelry. I know I'm always bringing mine to the conference, and I've gotten stuck in security for it. And also, Sequoia medallions. Security may also ask to look in your bag, so be ready for that, or just take them out of your bag ahead of time and place in a bin. Another thing I know many people of color have experienced when going through security is having their hair trigger a search. Personally, I keep mine down until I'm through security, so it's less likely to trip a sensor for being too thick. So just be prepared that they may want to give your head, shoulders, or back a pat. Okay, now it's time to head over to the hotel and get checked in. You will want to plan this before you land, or at least think about your options and expect it to take a bit of time to get from the airport to your hotel. In Phoenix, you'll have a lot of options for local travel. You can use an app like Lyft or Uber, which are easy to use but can be expensive. You do have to download an app and set up a profile and payment before you can request a ride. Taxis are probably available quickly, but again, can be expensive. Some hotels offer free shuttle rides to their hotel. Most likely you'll have to have made a reservation with them before landing, and this is why you should plan ahead. Another option that Phoenix has is their Valley Metro Rail. You can check out their website, valleymetro.org, and plan your trip and get information about fares. This is probably the most affordable method, but may take the longest. If you can travel with others, almost all of these ways will be less expensive because you can split the cost. So check with others and their travel plans. Once you get to the hotel, you will need to check into your room. One major thing to be aware of is that even if your room is being paid for by someone else, the hotel will need to have a card on file for incidentals or damage. Be careful in what type of card you give them because they usually pre-authorize your card for your full stay, which can be up to $50 a night. They will release the hold from your account once you have checked out, but it could take several days for the money to go back to your account. This is especially important if you use a debit card. You could be out a couple of $100s for several days, so be aware of that. You also have to show an ID when you check in. And if you end up sharing a room with someone else, make sure that both of your names are on the room so that if one of you loses a key, you can get a new one without waiting for the other person. You'll just need to show your ID to get a new key. If you're not able to check into your room right away, the hotel can hold your luggage for you. Just ask. Then you can leave the hotel without dragging around your baggage. The same thing can happen if you have to check out before you're ready to leave town. And when it's time to check out, make sure to check out on time so you don't get any additional charges. While at the conference, the dress is usually professional, business, or traditional. I am excited to see all those ribbon skirts and shirts. You will want to make sure to wear comfortable shoes. You will probably be walking a lot, especially if you've not done that in the last year and a half or so. Also, keep in mind that it is Phoenix and it will be hot outside, but it could be pretty cold inside, especially in convention centers. So layer up and bring a light jacket or sweater with you. If you need examples of what professional or business dress means, please feel free to check out our Pinterest page, and you can find us at AISES_HQ. One more thing to mention that some of you may be dealing with for the first time is per diem. Per diem is the money that you get from an organization for travel expenses. So this would be things like food, baggage fees, and housekeeping fees. Housekeeping fees are usually around $1 to $2 per person in the room per night. So keep that in mind. Keep your itemized receipts for anything that you spend per diem on in case your organization wants them. Okay, I think that's all the travel tips that we have for now, but join us on our next video to hear about tips to be prepared for the 2021 AISES National Conference. Thank you and see you soon.